raccoon in Ohio lives?
No, like 2 years or something.
It's 2 years.
What?
Yeah, 2
Raccoon
years
in
old.
Ohio.
So there's plenty of them out there, today, but they carry a lot of meat, carry a lot of fat. We need the fat. So you pick that animal and you study that animal. You've got to study the animal. These are just tools, like a mechanic's toolbox. He got to know about the car and what he's working on before he uses the tools. These tools, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of confusion here. But each one of these are tools for a specific job, for specific use on an animal. Once I understand the animal, I know what tools to run on the animal. Everybody with me on that? Mm-hmm. That really gets you up high in the trap, especially survival trap. If you got to feed yourself. Like I said, nobody's going to carry, 20 of these traps in their backpack. These are all steel, they're all heavy. This is what I carry mine.
What's up, you?
Everybody see that? Everybody knows what that is? That's a snare. Okay, you see how heavy it is and big it is? I use that for an example. Everybody can see it, right? But here's my philosophy. You see a lot of guys on TV taking piano wire and catching rabbits and eating rabbits. We've all heard about rabbits, but you can starve to death eating rabbits, correct?
Starvation. Yep.
So my snares are a little bit bigger, and why are they this big? Because I'm going to be eating deer steaks when they rescues come after me. So I suggest put 3 of these in your pack, and I go after big game. Yes, they're a one-time use, but that's a lot of meat waiting on people to come get me. You follow me? So it's very hard to carry that 330 around going after beavers, but I can carry 3 of them in my pack pretty good. So this is, in the state of Ohio, we have to have a relaxing lock. That means when it pulls down tight, it'll loosen back up if they stop. Why the state of Ohio requires that? It's because I catch farm dogs. I can set this trap up as a kill trap. I can set this trap up just like a pair of handcuffs, just to restrain the animal. But if I got dogs in my area, and I have caught dogs, if domesticated dogs have been on leashes, you follow me? So they won't struggle. They'll just sit down. They'll be in there in the morning. I release them, they're unharmed. But if a coyote gets in this trap and he panics, he'll strangle himself out, or he'll still be alive. Depends how I want to set it. State of Ohio, I'm not required to make this into a kill trap. I'm not required. They don't like me to do it. I set them up anyways, kill traps on coyotes. I don't like coyotes. The coyotes got necessity, but they're way overrun. So, to give you an idea, everything in this tack, you guys talk about the survival world and bushcraft world. Everybody looks at this trap, right? Where do I get the resources? This is a real good point about snaring resources. Where do you get the K-Whack, guys?
Neighbor's
Lowe's,
barn.
Home Depot.
Neighbor's barn, downed aircraft. Neighbor's barn, downed aircraft, right? If you ever wonder where your cable comes from, every garage door in the U.S. has this cable on both sides of it. So if we ever go off grid, right there, you guys have just showed you where all the cable resources are at for this. Okay, this is regular flat washer, bent over, 2 holes drilled in it. These are nuts smashed in a vise. I build this to show everybody how easy these are to run. You guys don't need to get into high-dollar snares and everything else to make this work. I've caught more crap on the same setup since I was a kid. I used this in the state of Ohio when it was highly illegal to use it in the state of Ohio. Okay, so that's how cheap they were to build. This spring you see on this, everybody was wondering what that is. We call that the whammy in the snare. A whammy is just a place that I hang. If you notice, this snare is hanging on the whammy right now. You see how it's hanging? The rod comes out and slides into the spring. But this is all scrap that comes out of your garages, guys. I want you to understand it in this bushcraft and survival world, the resources are there. You just got to find them. I had comments on YouTube that snares, it's a one-time shot, not a really good survival unit. It is when I'm using a little bitty piano wire. I'm going after big deer, remember? I'm going after a bear. This is big enough to hold a black bear. So to give you an idea, you guys want to be eating rabbits, you want to be eating big game. So, something else, you can pass that around and look at it. What else I want to talk about is I'm a snaring fool. I'll tell you a little story. I was trapping, I was carrying these are 330 conibear. I was carrying MP750s that double that size of trap on drowning rods with steel. Old trapping guy, he's by Manor, he's about 94 years old. He looked at me and he says, "Why are you that dumb, carry all the crap in the woods?" It's a lot of work, man, down in the water carrying. You ever carry a 10-foot piece of rebar? 10 of them go through the woods. And he says, where's the box? There's 100 snares. Do the math, guys. You know, what do you want to carry? You know, I got old and fat. I want to carry these more. You know, so it gives you an idea. Now you see how many snares I run. So in the survival world, I suggest you guys learn snares, get good at them. But what I tell you earlier is study the game. That's set up for coons right here, because coons, you know, like on a trail set, I could spend all day just on snaring, and it's actually endless on what your brain can come up with. Remember, you're going after an animal, which is not dumb. We assume they're dumb. They are not. When you assume them, you're going to lose animals. What you want to do is focus on the animal, and then let your mind run crazy on how you want to set. I've got a set over here for coyotes right here inside the woods. The other things I want to go over, everybody wants to get in trapping. This is my trap basket right here. There's another guy up there named Randy Smith from Stitch Gear Outfitters. He done this basket for me. My pride and joy. It's very expensive, right? Hard to get in trapping when you go drop $500 on a basket, right? This is my original basket. You see what I'm getting at? This is what happens when you're poor and you want to go trapping.
It's like steampunk.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks funny. Everybody, I always tell everybody why the holes in the basket. Anybody got any clues why there's holes in the basket?
Because they used to be a well for fish.
Any ideas? Why's this got holes in it? This basket will leak water.
Let water
It'll
out.
leak water because if I fall in, I just put about 40 pounds on my back with steel. And I got to get out of the water. Water trapping is one of the dangerous things you can do. You follow me?
Yeah.
So that's why the holes in the bucket. Pretty simple. This mule tape. Believe it or not, I used to have the fan belt off my truck for shoulder straps. How cheap do you want to go, guys? I mean, trapping, there's no money in it. Everybody says you got to do this on the affordability.
I'll get you another one.
2 buckets, and so that's why I didn't want to shy you off with this basket. You see the difference. That's 40 years worth, and this is what I really used. But it's so you can get into trapping pretty easy. Trapping gets really confusing. Going, what traps do I want? You know, where do I start at? What am I going to do? You're going to do dirt trap right here on the ground, right here. If you can pick that up, this trap right here. See that? It's got a drag on the end of it. We use that for a dirt set. That means we're going to dig a hole in the dirt, bury it. It's got sand involved, trap that's involved, a lot of work. But there's times I have to use that set. Out in the middle, I live in Xenia, Ohio. It's all farm field. It's flat. You know what I'm saying? Wide open stuff. So we got to do dirt sets like that. The other thing is, right here is that trap right there is a 155. See it sitting on the stand? That's called a body grip trap. This one right there. Yeah. That trap, why do they call that a 155? Then there's another one, 110. This one, okay? This thing will break both your fingers and hands pretty quick. Why they call it a 330 is not the size of it, it's the pounds per square inch. It's 330 pounds per square inch. It will snap both your wrists right now. So I carry safeties with me. The safeties involved that hook this. It also has 2 safeties on the thing. But a body grip trap, you'll also hear me call this a conibear, because when they first come out, that's who the guy invented it. It was a conibear. His name was conibear. So very efficient, but strictly a kill trap. Okay, it's only for dispatch. This thing will kill dogs, cats, and anything else that gets in it. So you got to know where to use them. You know, if you've got pets around, you can't use them. I use these in beaver. In the state of Ohio, these got to be totally submerged at all times in the river for beaver. What the beaver does is swim in there. If you've done your homework right, it kills him so fast right behind the head that he'll never roll or flip or kick. That's how fast this is kill trap. Wow. They bring it down to 155. That's 155 pounds per square inch. We also go all the way down to 110. It's 110. That's a single spur. That's what we use on muskrats, mink, stuff like that. This 155 I use for big coons. If you see the piece of drain tile there, that's my own invention. What you see in there, and this is what I was going to tell you, everybody's worried about off-grid, and you know everything's going on out in the world. You know, you got to remember, if it did collapse, guess what everybody's going to do? Everybody's going to do just what we're thinking. We're going out in the woods, we're going to trapping, right? I built that trap because I trap public ground. When people are hiking and everything like that, you walk around, they see that plastic tile sitting there, right? And they ignore it. There's 2 traps. The second one's not in there, but there's 2 traps. I use that at called Cedar Creek Campground for the coons. Okay, you follow me? And everybody ignores it. They think it's trash in the ditch or a pirate coming out the ditch. The coon goes in there, sticks his head in there for bait, and kills him instantly. Same on the backside. So that's 2 coons. I usually find 2 coons in that setting. They don't care if the dead coon's there. They'll eat right next to their buddy dead. They don't care. So it's kind of
they'll die right next to their buddy.
Yeah, they don't care. But that's my own setup. It's kind of unique. But we got to call stealth trapping. You know, like I said, everything's going on. We got to talk about stealth trapping. You know, remember, everybody will be out doing this. You know, you think about it. I want to tell you a story. My grandfather was a big trapper, come through the Depression in the 30s. Well, when I was about 15 years old in 1980, the fur market was really high. I was getting $45 to $50 a coon for a large, $100 for a fox. We didn't have coyote, didn't have beaver. And I was 15 years old, no car, couldn't get around. My grandpa would take me out and drop me off. Well, I'm competing at $45 a coon for a large. I'm competing with all these coon dogs, coon hunters. It was crazy. Coon hunters hate trappers. They throw the traps, shoot your traps, tear them up because we catch your dogs because we got bait in it, right? So my grandpa told me, I said, Grandpa, I can't compete with these guys. If you did catch a coon, he was run to death, tore up by dogs and stuff. So this is a very good point, guys. I want you to really pay attention to this. My grandpa said, look, you're not thinking. He says, everybody's out in the woods for $45 a coon. We went to the city of Dayton, looked for the abandoned houses. That was when Jimmy Carter was in. You find a hole in the roof, and you find a restaurant close by. I started popping out 30-pound coons, man. I showed up at Lester's Ice and on my grandpa's truck, and all these trappers and everybody standing around. I'm pulling these coons, these huge coons. Where are they at? Where are they at? I said, man, down there at Cedars Creek, down south of that big collar, man. They're polluted down there. But nobody knew I went back to the city, guys. You follow me? Thanks. Everybody's in the woods hunting. Where am I going to go if it collapses? I'm going after them cities. That's where the game is. They don't have the pressure. Good, valuable lesson right there. If everybody's running that way, run that way.
Not the way at the trapper's house and which way it's home.
Right? Yeah. Guess what? We all need the same things, right? Ain't no different. So if we think about that like that, and I understand the animal, I understand that he's got to live somewhere, he's got to go to the bathroom somewhere. Everything he does, I can use against him. Why is air a factor in that? Because some of these traps are drowning rigs, you know? They're drowning rigs. Oh. We'll drown the animal out. Sometimes if you're stealth, like a beaver stealthing, I can run rods I was telling you about. When the beaver comes up, he'll get his foot caught in that trap. Well, instinctively, he wants to dive to the bottom of the pond to get away. I can hold him underwater, he'll drown. Remember, beavers are not afraid of drowning. But he'll drown under there, and you could walk by and never see that beaver 5 foot under the water. You with me? So now I've got my game hidden again. You with me? That way trap thieves can't find it, stuff like that. I trap a lot of beaver with snares up on the land. But there's a danger to that because the coyotes can get to them, other predators get to them, and people can get to them. But if I can drown him under the water, you know, he's all hid. So see, there's a balance point because I trap around other trappers. We have a lot of trap thieves. You know, these are $22 a piece. There's a lot of money here, guys. You know, so you've got to stay stuff hid. So right now, any questions? Anybody? Stand on charge. I talk a little fast, but I got a lot of cover, man.
Soaking it all up.
It's like I said, there's all kinds of ways. What I like to talk about next is what you don't really see on YouTube and you don't see a lot, and it's called dispatching. There's an art to dispatch animals, guys. Okay. I carry a 22 or 17 HMR. I do not carry a pistol with me. I didn't bring it here because we don't have no firearms here on premises. It's called a calp. It's a little bit, looks like a little survival rifle. Why do I use a rifle and trap line other than a pistol?
You can get right up quieter.
Well, you get closer to them, but what else?
Quieter. That's a rifle.
It's quieter. I can put my can on it. I'm licensed for a can. But why else? Because I'm an opportunity trapper. There's many times I've been picking a trap here and a coyote crosses the field in front of us. And I get 2 for the price of 1. So I carry a rifle with it. They're a little bit more cumbersome, but you understand my point. If I was carrying 22 little short pistol, I'd have trouble taking a coyote 50, 60, 80 yards out. So that's my point. The other thing what we talk about is dispatch. I do a Facebook Live every Thursday night, and I had my dad on there. My dad trapped in the 50s. It was a good class. It was a good thing. This right here and this right here. Okay, why this? Why not the 22 rifle?
You won't damage the fur.
Well, it won't damage the fur, but 17 HMR, we call it pelt rifle, puts a little bit hole in the forehead. You're right though, it's really nice because when you open the brain matter up with a firearm, you're susceptible to other like feline, distemper, and stuff like that. So always wear your rubber gloves. This doesn't open that up, right? But blunt force trauma will cause death faster than that 22 bullet. It really puts the brain in shock too. Also, I like this because it's reloadable.
Unlimited
It's
ammo.
easy to charge. Got a built-in silencer, you know, and it's legal in all states. And if I get in city limits, and I'm in city limits, I can't fire a firearm. So I'm underneath the bridge, boom, take them home. See how valuable this stick is? Have everybody seen on Facebook that mountain lion chasing that guy?
Yeah.
And he tried to throw a rock and tried to attack him. Now she had cubs there. She was just trying to run him off. That's all he needs on that. Believe it or not, you can kill that mountain lion with that stick right there. The velocity behind the stick is crazy. If you notice, that stick is bent. It grows out of a tree or the bank like that. You follow me? You want to cut that off? Yeah, I play with them. I build all kinds of them. But I'm telling you, it's nasty. Cheap way, to your Creek Flea Market, $3 on a bat, cut it off. You know, like I said, built-in silencer. I love that statement, man, because it's quiet. It's really simple, guys. You're not carrying any ammo. Remember, if we went off grid, wouldn't we need to be quiet? You're going to hear 22 going off, especially underneath the bridge. The other thing about firing guns around rocks and bridges, it can go through the coon head and come back and get you guys. You follow me? Even on hard clay pack, dirt, you don't know what's rocks underneath there. Bridge culverts, I trapped inside bridge culverts. You can't dispatch in there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get the art of this. Now, why I talk about that, and it gets kind of graphic, some people didn't understand. I try to dispatch the animal as fast as humanly possible. Believe it or not, I don't know how many animals I've dispatched, and I still don't like it. I've never got the taste that I like it. It's especially with the coon sitting there in the trap, he's blinking his eyes at you going, why me, why me? It sucks. But you got to kind of donk and just keep on going, you know what I'm saying? It's bad, but if you're hungry, it gets easier. But what you're trying to do, and what I like to do to dispatch, is I take a stick, regular stick out of the woods, and I put my coon gland on it. And I take that stick and I put it up to his nose. I lay this on my shoulder. He don't like me. The bean coons are easier to dispatch because they're wanting to eat you up. But as soon as he smells that stick, right, it's another coon. So he focuses on that, pow, all over. When you hit him in the head, you want to roll him on his back. Okay? Take that again, open him up, and get him right in the throat. What's that going to do? It's going to crush his esophagus, yes, but it's going to hydraulic his brain with the blood. Instant death. He's not going to feel nothing. Then you guys watch the UFC fighting. You see them guys get knocked out. They jump back up. Man, did I win? They didn't know nothing. So you're knocking him out this way and dispatching the other way. Everybody with me on that? Mm-hmm. See how easy it is? Yes, it's graphic. Is it tough? It's still tough on you guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. You don't get hardened to it unless something's wrong with you, I guess. I mean, it's just me. But you know, everybody's like, how do you dispatch it? Well, you just kind of plunk and get it over with and go on, throw him in the truck. I've actually had this truck sitting right here. Shot one in the head with 22 rifle in a hurry. I was doing big numbers. I was pushing over 100 coon that year. Shot him right in the head, grabbed him, threw him in his truck, reset, turned around, that coon standing up my truck. He is pissed. Now, I'm going to shoot a 22 on my truck. What'd I do, man? I tried to play around until I got my dispatch tool and finished him off. It happens. He had a hole through his head and through his jaw, guys. It should have just let him up, but it happens. So I've had more problems with dispatch with firearms than I have with that. Ain't that crazy? And the coon can move and glance him, and then you can get into the pelt and everything else. I know it's a kind of touchy subject, but I think it's a touchy subject. All our ancestors did that without thought. They'd kill chickens and they'd go down there and slaughter their own hogs. You know, how many people here slaughter their own animals? Got 1, 2, 3. But look, it should be everybody, right? But you with me on that about dispatching? It's easy to pull trigger on a deer, you know, but it's hard to bring that deer out of the pen and that you raised up. And I did 4-H hogs. You know what I'm talking about. It's just part of the necessity.
Come on, old Joey.
Any questions yet? Come on, guys, hit me up. Keeps my brain dusted off.